welcome to our Friday morning trading session. The market's just opened up about a minute or so ago, and looking like we're putting in a little bit of a rally out of the gate here on the NASDAQ. You can see the market's still very conflicted, very sideways. This is what we were looking at yesterday. We suspected that perhaps the market was in the sideways trading range, and it looks like we're still within a sideways trading range. So I'll point out a few things to you here. We'll try to focus on some decent quality signals. This rally out of the gate something to consider, though. We are producing a first micro-macro cross signal. The problem with this signal is we'd have to cover the trade way down there. There's very little structure here. There's the first micro-macro cross, so I'll throw that in. It's still very early. About 4 minutes into the session now. And because the market conditions being what they are, it seems like we're going to be getting some signals here on tools like the Hawk Scalper, which of course is what it does. It's meant to pick up signals like that. Alright, so we've got that signal in play. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to run this one out. You know that? This may be the move of the day building right here. I'm going to try to run that one out. Our profit target just above the high of this current bar. So if this bar finishes on the high, you can know that you would have hit your profit objective. Okay, let's see. Are we getting comparable signals here? No. On the Eagle, we did get a red bar buy signal here about a half hour before the market opened. It would have been a little bit difficult to get a handle on, but it looks like our hawk trade so far working out pretty well for us. I think it's about time I go with something a little bit more aggressive, perhaps like my parabolic stops. Now, I had an interesting email from, I think it was Greg. Dan, I'm going to address your question right now. Dan's asking, where's your profit objective now? I'm going to let my parabolics take me out. So parabolics, they're not very good in a sideways market, as you can see. But when the market does have a trend going, even a little bit of a trend, the parabolics are pretty good about saving most of that open profit, especially if the market stalls a little bit. If it tends to make a slightly quicker reversal, sometimes you give up a few extra ticks. But for the most part, I think parabolics are pretty good about protecting open profit that you have. The next most aggressive stop strategy, and this one's even more aggressive than the parabolics, would be the bar high low, where perhaps I'd go 2 bars back, 2 tick offset. That would leave my stops right there. So the parabolics leaving perhaps another $30, $40 at risk right now. Come on, get up there, you stinkers. So I got an email from, I think it was Greg the other day, asking me about, Greg said, I see that occasionally in the trading room you delete the profit objective and you let the market run out. How do you decide to do that? Well, very often, it's not a science, obviously. But during the summer months, as you probably noticed, the markets tend to be a little less committed. Very often, the move of the day will come right out of the gate. So sometimes on that first move, especially if it's a single contract, especially if I'm, needing to run a rather large stop, sometimes that first move, I'll delete the profit objective and try to run it out. Now, we spoke one day a little bit about measuring how the market tends to make reflections of certain moves. So if you're looking at the market like this, and here's your first micro macro cross signal, and there's your low, you can see this is a fairly steady little move higher here. A lot of times the market will try to reverse that. Well, in this case, if I'd use that as a profit objective, you can see I'm not there yet. But sometimes the market will do that as well. Jim says it's a Jedi mind thing that you have to learn by understanding the characteristics of the market. Well, yes, that's partly true, of course. I'm a big fan of learning one market. That's a question I get a lot as well. How many markets do I need to watch? I'm a big fan of watching one market. I suppose rather than, if I had taken just the open into account, let's see if we did our little triangle that or square that way. So if the market opened right here at 6:30, if I took the opening price into account, oh, there we go. That's a better reflection of the range. So the market duplicates the range, or did duplicate the range more or less out of the open. And now we're producing a macro pullback signal. Now what's going through my mind now is this truly going to be a macro pullback, or is the market just going to go back into its trading range? I think the market is in an uptrend, but I also think we could see a retracement all the way back here to the lows before the next rally. Let's see, how did we do there? Oh, not bad. Be nice if this developed into a 4-arrow consolidation. That would make me feel a little better. All right, let's put that on the shelf for now. That is a valid macro pullback signal, in case you're wondering, in case you're sitting there saying, why isn't Eric taking that macro pullback signal? Is there something wrong with it? No, there's nothing wrong with it. Problem is, where am I going to cover the trade? Again, I'm looking to cover it near the bottom here, and trade manager says, no, sorry, Eric, that's out of reach for you. I could trade it, I suppose, to the crest here on the macro line, and it should work out. Certainly for a scalp, you see, at the very least, we should be able to get a retest to the high. All right, I know you want to see me do it. Hold on a second here. Am I missing anything? No. All right, well, we'll throw that order in. Now what I've done is I've given up an extra tick here on the entry. Essentially going the high, above the high of this bar right here by 1 tick. Oh, that's a good idea. Jim says he looks for a trend line breakout on either side to take profit. That's not bad. That's not a bad idea. So I think what Jim is talking about is he kind of channels the market like this. Come on now. And what you could do is you could just duplicate. If you can't draw lines on the top end of the channel, you can duplicate the bottom end of the channel. The logic behind it is what a lot of people don't understand about trend lines is most people just follow this trend line, the bottom trend line. But the top trend line can have quite a bit of influence on the market as well, especially if the market starts to breach the upper end of the trend line. Well, why is that important, you say? Well, because very often, once it moves, the market moves outside of this trading range, very often it will reverse on itself at least a little bit. And you can see in this case, that's what happened. We ended up reaching the bottom end of the trend line. So that's what Jim says he uses for profit-taking objectives. Breach on either side of the trend line. Let's see if I can find you another example. Well, maybe not on this one. Let's see, something a little bit more pronounced trend. All right, let's draw a trend like that, and we're going to mirror this trend line on the bottom. And just for kicks, let's see how well the market is contained. All right, so there's an obvious breach of the lower trend line. Let's see if we get a reversal from there now. Oh, we got a lot of sideways action, and eventually more sideways. Usually it develops a little bit faster than that. But this breach down here tells me that the market's acting unpredictably, and while you would think this is very advantageous for the sellers, it actually has more bullish connotations to it. Now, if I were trading this trend, I would have adjusted these trend lines as the market goes on, right? Once I had this, I would adjust my trend line like so. And honestly, I'd probably shoot my trend line. I'd leave one like this, and I'd probably draw my other one like that. You can see we got a breach down here. All right, so kind of fun experiment to go through your charts and draw a couple trend lines on. And don't micromanage your trend line. Right? People are always fretting. How did you draw that trend line? Should I draw my trend line like this, or should I draw my trend line like this? Well, they're actually both accurate. They're both valid trend lines. I tend to draw the most obvious trend line. And to that end, sometimes it's easier to draw your trend line backwards. To start with the most recent swing and then draw it back through the life of the chart. All right, so there you go, a little tidbit for you. All right, this macro pullback signal is now working itself into a 4-arrow consolidation. And I know you're saying, Eric, are you going to take it? Well, same issue, right? No real structure. But I do believe that if it engages, we should at least find our profit objective here. Now, this is not the kind of trade that gives me warm, fuzzy feelings. I would love to see a little bit more structure somewhere around here. But the buyers were very strong out of the gate. They continued from here, so hopefully we won't see the market fall much below 47.90. My big fear that we're getting back into this trading range. Now, even though we haven't actually printed 4 arrows, you can see this was a buy signal that did not trip. You could count that. You could say 1, 2, 3, this is signal number 4. Remember, the 4-arrow consolidation really is just a bull flag or bear flag. It alerts you to the congestion that occurs in these flag type setups. Oh, there we go. Andrew says we've got Yellen speaking in 9 minutes time, so at the top of the hour. So traders trying to position themselves, I guess, ahead of the good news. Steve says, oh, what the heck, throw an Andrew's pitchfork on the chart. Sure, we can do that. Where is it? Andrew's pitchfork. There we go. So you'd probably do your pitchfork like this. There we go. That's a little bit too congested. Andrew's pitchforks, by the way, they're interesting tools. They just help you try to see the market trend, much like Gann lines. Gann lines just attempt to show you how well the market is trending. All right, price is still slipping off. Get deep into those yellow bars so I don't even need to think about buying you. So now we're still working a 4-arrow consolidation pattern. There we go. Now we've got a red bar buy, still tempting me with a buy signal. Get down there, you stinkers. Andrew says, well, it's always rosy in the USA. You know, I know you're saying that tongue-in-cheek, but it seems to be true. Every time I've tried to short the stock market in the past, you know, solid setups on the E-mini or the NASDAQ, it rallies. They've been rallying for 20 years. Good news and bad news, they rally. Every once in a while I'll read someone else's market opinions, and there's one fellow who says he's not bearish, but he is. he doesn't like to think of himself as a perma bear. Oh, I forgot to hit the submit button. Doggone it. All right, well, now we need to pretend that we're long this trade. But this fellow's been predicting doom and gloom. Oh my goodness, I've been reading him for about 3 years now, and he's been expecting the stock market to tank for 3 years, and of course it doesn't. Now, that said, I do believe a correction is in order. Not the, you know, sky is falling type correction. That'll happen in October, as it usually does, and everybody always acts surprised. Oh, there you go. See, Jim's giving me a quote here. That Sandy Jaheda, I hope I pronounced that right, predicts a sharp movement in equities between August 26th and August 30th. And September 26th and again October 20. Yeah, see? So they're all on the same page. Yeah. And Jim says Harry Dent's been doom and gloom since 2006. Oh, yes. Andrew says, well, things might be different when Trump gets elected. You know, I don't talk politics a lot. I don't follow politics, not even Canadian politics. And if you want to watch funny politics, and I don't mean funny haha, all you need to do is follow the provincial politics here in British Columbia. So the politicians are politicians, but all joking aside, I don't envy your choices one way or the other this election. We had it tough enough here in Canada. But yeah, you guys have a very interesting decision to make come November. bringing out all the conspiracy theories now. Yeah, I wonder, Jim. Jim says he won't get elected. Hillary's been chosen by the Bilderbergers back in 2002. Yeah, but I thought the Illuminati were behind Trump. I'm just messing with you guys now. All right, so if you did take this 4-arrow consolidation, you can see we're still taking heat here. A couple minutes, I guess, till the top of the hour. And that should spark the market. When you're looking at these consolidation patterns as well, there's nothing wrong with drawing a trend line to highlight the channel a little bit better for yourself. And you can actually delay your entry until you get outside that channel. You can see in this instance it would have helped keep you on the right side of the market or perhaps out of this trade. Or you can just do what I do and forget to hit the submit button. Even if you are short here, see, it's summertime. I was going to say it's unlikely the market's going to make a move straight lower without at least one opportunity to adjust your trade. But the summer, we do see odd things happen during the summer. All right, so now we're near the bottom end of this trading range. Let's see if we get a little bit of a hiccup now. The sellers have come back with a vengeance. You can see the market opened very strong. Sellers are pushing it down, though. They're hacking away, chipping away at them. Which again is very characteristic of a sideways trading range. The market, I guess, is a good opportunity as any to do a little education. When the market is in a trading range, it always seems to move very quickly to the top end of the range and very quickly to the bottom end of the range, giving everybody the impression there's going to be a breakout. But of course there's not. It moves very quickly to the top end of the range only to trap traders on a false breakout or perhaps no breakout at all, and then stop them out and move to the bottom end of the range, at which time it will accelerate very quickly, giving the impression that there's going to be a breakout, and of course there's not, and then traders get trapped and it goes the other way. So that's kind of what we're seeing here now. That's why when the market is in a trading range, and I know I beat this into your heads, the safe thing to do is let the market get out, prove it can stay out, and then look for that buying opportunity. Break out, prove it can stay out, and then look for that selling opportunity. Yeah, Yellen's speaking now, Jim says. You get that impression because all of a sudden the market picked up a little bit. First micro macro cross lower. Now we're moving into a consolidation again. Right, so she started speaking and right away everybody gets bearish. Oh, it's going to be bad news. She's got a cold or whatever. Market's heading lower. Well, all right. So no real signal here on the Eagle. You Raptor traders got a nice clean cloud crossover signal right here. Now, in hindsight, it's a little bit easier to take real time. I would still take it. This has the same problem as what we were looking at with the hawk signals, namely, all right, I'm in down here. Where in the world am I going to cover this thing? Cover it above the cloud? I haven't really seen a retest of the high. What if it's in a trading range? Well, then I got to cover it way up here. Try to think of your stop loss as a safety net. Try not to keep it so close that it gets tagged before the market actually commits. I think I'd say whatever the buyers have done, the sellers have now undone. Oh, spoke too soon. Here come the buyers again. Wow, what a roller coaster. Crude oil prices falling off a little bit. Seems like during the summer, the hawk is the tool of choice many times. Don't worry, Raptor owners. The Raptor produces plenty of hawk-style signals as well. But you're going to see a lot more opportunities on your hawk. You just gotta, really learn to put up with all these yellow bars. Keep your stops as far away as you can manage, and probably go all in, all out on target, at least with crude oil, which tends to be a little bit more profitable on the scalp end of things. Excuse me. So just when we think everything is coming undone, we get a big rally back. So look at this range. Wow, craziness, craziness. There's crazy people in the market today. So it looked kind of bearish for a moment. Now it's bullish again. Oh, well done, Jim. Jim long on the YM at 48, out at 90. That's a nice move on 2 contracts. Well done. Yeah, Jim says it's the trading bots. He says, I've seen oil spike with the 6 and 8 tick bars on 0 volume on some of those bars. The deal now with the market is overcoming this high, right? Remember what I said? The market rallies very quickly to the high, making everybody think there's going to be a breakout, and then what? It goes back to the bottom, re-enters the trading range, captures all these poor traders up here who are thinking, she's gonna blow, she's heading higher, get on board, quick, 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 buy, buy, buy. I honestly don't know what to make of today. I'm thinking trading range again. Just gonna see prices flip-flop. Now it's the bears' turn. Okay, first micro macro cross here on the hawk, but we're also into the hard edge on the eagle and the raptor. Good. Get into yellow bars so I don't have to even think about buying you or selling you. Soybeans, pretty stagnant here at the moment. Not much going on. In the bean market, also very, very sideways. Happy market. That's a happy market. They don't feel overvalued or undervalued. They're just happy where they are. Huh. I wonder if we're going to get another sell signal here. That would be a soft edge sell. And maybe what I would do is just throw a single on there, see if it doesn't retrace to the bottom end of this morning's range. See, I could look at this as the retest of the high. If it fails, produces a sell signal here, it's obviously going to retest the lows. And I would be banking on a sideways trading range. Oh, see, there it is. So there's our soft edge sell signal. Now this is obviously, or hopefully semi-obviously, a counter trend signal. We've just had this huge spike up, and now I'm debating shorting the market. So I don't suggest you follow me on this one. I'm going to demo it for you. Tony says he walked around a soybean field yesterday. Looks like a very good yield this year, at least in Kansas. That's what I've been reading, Tony, is I think it's going to be a very good year for a lot of the grains, actually. They've got excess inventory and a big crop coming in, so it seems likely that grain prices could head a little bit lower across the board. Now, technically, with the soft edge sell, my objective is the hard edge. That's why a soft edge sell usually, and this isn't really a soft edge sell signal because we didn't have a test of the extreme, but when your band gets really, really overextended, either higher or lower, it makes for an easier soft edge buy or soft edge sell. Our band is a little bit more constricted here. I see crude oil prices just put in a little rally here on the Falcon. Nice little trend change signal. So while crude started the day on a bearish note, it is produced a nice buy signal here and trying to put in a rally again. Most active day we've seen in crude in some time. Like I said, I don't feel really good about this short, so if you're looking for a signal to mirror, that may not be it. I don't know what it's like in your part of the world, but the service stations seem to have gotten ahead of themselves a little bit. Crude oil prices putting their spike in today, and yesterday, price of gasoline went up 9 cents a liter, approximately 40 cents a gallon. What happened to just raising it a penny or two? Well, I guess somebody's yacht needs an overhaul. One of the big wigs, or the company jet needs a rebuild. All right, so the Raptor's retreating from this signal here. It's getting a little bit stronger. So I'm going to close that out for now. All right, so here comes the big push. Oh, sorry, Eagle traders. We did get a buy signal here on the Eagle. Our typical hard edge bounce signal. Now, when it's producing this close to the ATR, I will usually let the ATR turn over. So that effectively makes this now my signal bar. So I could enter above that bar, perhaps cover below here, although it would be prudent maybe to give it a little bit of slippage room. And we're almost to our profit objective. Certainly far enough along, it would be recommended to get this trade to break even, and hooray, we just hit our profit target. So sorry about not picking that one up sooner, but I'm sure you guys are clever enough to figure that one out. And girls, not leaving the ladies out. Wow, this is a monster bull day. I have no idea whether it was good news or bad news. Not that it matters. The market's going to do what the market's going to do. But what a solid move. What a solid move. My goodness, we haven't seen a move like this for, well, not this week. Oh, and another first micro macro cross. See, I should spend less time yakking. Well, we may as well review the signals while we're waiting for the next one. Trend change signal here on the Falcon. Nice bounce off the primary resistance line. Cradled a little bit by the secondary resistance. And wow, how many zones are we blowing through here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zones on that move. 1, 2, 3, 4 zones on this move. That is very bullish. So, Andrew, you were absolutely correct. Things continue to be rosy in the US of A. So crude oil put in a nice rally, NASDAQ put in a rally. I was wrong that early move was not the move of the day. I would say that this latest leg that we've seen rally up here on the Falcon, nice clean move. So three very strong rallies today. And you Raptor traders, you had a double pullback here. It was an itty-bitty pullback on the second one. There's pullback number one. And what you're looking at with the double pullback, or what I like to see, is I like to see the signals. You could also call it a double signal, I suppose. So there's signal one, there's pullback two, there's signal two. That tells you, okay, there's your double pullback, time to go. Let's get busy. And up they go. Boom goes the dynamite. Well, that's a nice way to finish out the week. Especially the week I have had. Oh my God. All right, while we're waiting for the signal, I may as well tell you, as many of you know, this week I've been ducking out of the trading room a little bit early, and I need to do that again today. I apologize, because I'm helping out on a project down in Victoria. Victoria being about a 45-minute commute from where I live. So let's see, what was the first thing that went wrong? Oh, the first thing that went wrong. I'm just about to sit down for breakfast on Wednesday, and I get a ring at the doorbell, and it's the power line workers. They're clearing the tree branches away from the power lines. And they said, "Is that your green van parked there?" And I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "Could we ask you to move it?" Okay, fine. So I leave my breakfast, I go move my van. I come back just about to bite into my toast, and I get a phone call from the person I'm helping with this job. So my breakfast is good and cold after that conversation. Then on the commute down, there's an accident on the highway, which slows things down. Accidents, where I live, it's not big city traffic. It's not like LA traffic or even Seattle traffic. We've got 2 lanes, 2 lanes down, 2 lanes up on the highway. So there was a traffic accident with the detour. That took a little while. Then I ended up cutting the countertop too short, so I had to order a new leg of the countertop. But pulled a couple cookies out of the cookie jar, and they got that repaired very quickly for us. So that was good. But then I hooked my pants on the saw and broke the zipper in my pants, my new work pants. Let's see, what else happened? It didn't stop there. Oh yeah, then we called it a day. I thought, well, I'll go get a haircut. And the girl who normally cuts my hair wasn't in. And I said, well, when is she back? And she said, well, she's back tomorrow. But I said, well, that's not going to help me. Back in Victoria tomorrow. So I let another girl cut my hair, and she left the hair longer on the left side of my head than on the right side of my head, which I didn't notice until my wife pointed out. Let's see, what else happened? There was more. It didn't stop there. Well, I think that was it for that day. And then the next day, I go down to help again. And there's a forest fire coming back. It's in the summer, it gets very, very dry around here. You think on the west coast that we get rain all the time? No, it is tinder dry right now. and there was a forest fire near the highway, so they closed the highway. So I got to sit in the world's largest parking lot on the highway for a while until they managed to get a detour in. So it took me about 3 hours to do that 45-minute commute yesterday. So that's what my week's been like. I'm hoping. So today is a very refreshing change to see the markets cooperating, giving us a decent move, solid signals. Kind of just warms your heart. All right, well, they're starting to look a little bit like they're putting in a top again. I'm not sure the sellers are going to get a full-on reversal here, but that may well be the move of the day, and we may start to see the market move sideways again out of here. So I would not get too aggressive on the short side, even though I do believe a move lower is certainly possible. We do have a retest of the high here on the Raptor. We could get a soft edge sell. I would probably look at a scalp type thing. Just get in, get your money, get out. Let's not get too greedy, because it seems as though the buyers have this market well in hand at the moment. But a move back to the hard edge or even near the high in the morning, I would think that would be a very, very ambitious target. All right, so they're drifting sideways here again. Just kind of confirms what we've suspected, that traders are, trying to get a handle on the situation here. I'll be closing up the room in a few minutes. So if anybody has any questions, please type away. I will certainly wait for your questions. Otherwise, I'm going to go continue my adventure. Today should be the last day. Tony says, will you help me build a deck? Sure, Tony. No problem. Adam asked me once why so many carpenter types make good traders, and I never thought of it before. But I think it's because when you're in construction, you're always problem solving, right? There's always a problem that needs fixing. The blueprints overlooked something, or the footings were poured wrong, or whatever. The room's too small or too big for the cabinetry, or what do you do? Yes, Daniel's asking. Hooray for Daniel. He's actually asking a trading related question. Here we go. Daniel's asking, in that first trade, did you manually cancel the target? Yes, I did. So we'll just mimic it here so you can see what it's like. So we're going to, here, we'll use super trend. It's as good as any. No, it's not. Okay, so we're going to, sorry, that's not going to do it, is it? Let's close. We gotta do it like so, like so. Come on. Get up there. Oh, I know what I can do. 1 second here. We'll change the order type to market. We'll set our prices. All right. So once your order goes live, you can actually move all your presets. You can make your stops bigger, you can change your break even, you can change your profit objective. So yes, this little X box at the end, what I did is I just X'd out my break even and I X'd out the profit target. And that automatically turns this trade now into a runner. Now you can still scale out of the trade. Let's say I'm long 4 contracts and I want to scale out. I can right-click on the chart and I can sell contracts where I want. And when I put a trade on that way, it will default to this quantity here. So let's say I change the quantity now to 2 and I right-click, you'll see that the sell limit is 2 contracts. Now these orders are live the moment you put them on your chart. Now watch what happens when I bring this down and we get filled. See, the trade manager automatically adjusts. So I'm down from 4 contracts now to 2 contracts. I'm not entirely sure why it threw a break even back in there, but it did. I guess it just refreshes the trade when it does that. So even though you may have canceled your initial profit target, you can always re-enter a profit target or a profit objective by hitting your right-clicking on the chart and bringing down to your sell limit here. Oh, see, there you go. Jim says he had a cabinet shop for 15 years. Trading helped him multitask at his present job at the hospital. Way to go. All right, you guys, we're going to close up the room now, and I'll catch you Monday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.